was thinking about Control, Alt, Delete. And I've been talking about this subject for quite a while now. But I noticed when I was walking in my home and I had walked past a spot, when I reflect back, I remember standing in my house staring out of my glass doors, and I was asking God to take my prior life away from me. Life of drug dealing, life of fornicating, life of adultery, life of manipulation, life of selling poison to my people. And so as I wept that day, staring out at my backyard in the lake, I asked God to take that life away from me. Not knowing that by me asking God to take that life away from me, that I was going to receive a 35-year sentence in federal prison. So with that being said, be specific about what you ask God for. Because there's no telling what you're going to get, right? So anyway, yesterday I was in my home, and I passed by that Pacific spot, and I felt something kind of jolted me a little bit. And then I asked myself, what was that? And then it came to my mind that there are some things that's in my life that I have not brought closure to. And so I often liken this conversation to when you be on your phone and you be on your computer and you have a lot of windows open. And once you have a lot of windows open, it slows down the process with your computer system. So things slow up, things distort, or maybe even freeze up until you close those apps out, until you close those windows out. And so there are some things in my life that I have not closed out yet, right? And so in my mind, I'm going to have to go back to that Pacific spot, and I'm going to have to close out that app. I'm going to have to close out that relationship, because God has answered my prayers. He sent me to prison to do a 35-year prison sentence. I end up doing 21 years and 3 months. I got the clemency from Barack Obama. And very, very fortunately for me, that my wife was able to keep the home where the feds came and took me away from some 30-something years ago, right? So just yesterday, I walked in that spot where I said that prayer to God, and I felt something there. I don't know if I felt the spirit. I don't know if just my recollections to what happened, did that come to the forefront? I don't know what to call that. But in my mind, I need to close that out. I need to go in that spot. I need to thank God for answering my prayers. And I need to close that spot out and close that app out. And so I'm going to do that today. And so when I was thinking of that, I was also just a little ways from there. When I looked down my hallway, I could still picture my children crying and screaming about what was going on with their father some 30-something years ago, and that affected me. It stopped me in my spot. And one thing about the subconscious mind, it does not have a recollection of real time. So everything is in real time when it deals with the subconscious mind. So when the subconscious mind thinks of something, the reality of it feels like it's happening right in that moment, even though it may happen 30 years ago. So in my subconscious mind, like I'm present in something that happened to me over 30 years ago. That means I have not closed out those windows. I have not closed out those apps. I have not cemented those relationships and the things that happened to me during those times. So there's a lot of programs, there's a lot of applications that I have to close out of my life. And so I thank God for even bringing that science to my mind, because I'm sure there's a lot of things that's going on with me in my mind and my thoughts and situations that I have not closed out yet. And so I could very much be operating in real time on some things that happened to me, maybe from my childhood, maybe from my teens, maybe from my adolescence or my adulthood, or even some horrible things that happened to me in prison that I haven't closed out. I could be in the streets operating in that same mindset. So that's my message on this rising here. Is a lot of things that we have to bring closures to. You know, you'll find people that have been in relationships, that walked away from relationships, that did not have a proper closing of that relationship. That means that relationship is still open until we close it. So I just wanted to bring that science to our people. There's a lot of apps. There's a lot of situations. There's a lot of traumas. There's a lot of joyous times. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of sadness that we have because we could recollect some things that happened to us that we did not bring closure to. Greetings. This is Sunny Days 305 Degrees podcast. Our community said they wanted a platform that they could get their ideas and their messages out. Hence, Sunny Days 305 is on fire.